Valenterell, one Democratic strategist for many campaigns, tells ABC7 Biden's debate performance was as bad as you can possibly imagine. This morning, some are calling for him to step down. Meanwhile, former President Trump getting a big boost from the debate, but also telling several falsehoods. This morning, serious concern within the Democratic Party after this debate performance from President Biden.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
ABC7 political analyst Laura Washington.
Well, I think the word is panic. Democrats are very concerned about his performance. They think it was way under par, and they're looking at other alternatives.
From the start of the debate, the president speaking with a raspy voice, at times stumbling and trailing off, unable to finish his thought, even on the issues at the heart of his campaign, like abortion rights.
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor. Between the woman and the state.
The Biden campaign telling reporters the president, who is 81 years old, had a cold, something they didn't mention until an hour into the debate. Trump questioning Biden's mental fitness.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Biden's own vice president acknowledging he had a rough go.
Listen, he did not get off to a strong start in that debate, but he had a strong finish.
It was the first time the two candidates have come face to face in 4 years. Almost immediately, the attacks turning personal between two presidents with a bitter history.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now.
When he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
That clearly didn't sit well with Biden, delivering his most direct attack yet on some of the allegations surrounding Trump.
The crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
And Biden going after Trump for his actions on January 6th and his promise to pardon the rioters who stormed the Capitol.
He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out, and now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Meanwhile, Trump pushed several false claims, from insisting there was no terror during his administration to claiming that every legal scholar in the world supported overturning Roe v. Wade.
Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Meanwhile, political science professor Dick Simpson from UIC says Biden's performance will have little impact on the voters in Illinois.
In states like Illinois, it won't matter. Trump will be lucky to get 35% of the votes. There's no doubt Biden will win Illinois, but what's at issue is, will he win Michigan, Wisconsin? Will he win Pennsylvania?
Political analysts say if President Biden were to step aside, the decision would be completely up to him, and many think he is unlikely to do that. So many are still expecting to see President Biden here in Chicago at the DNC in August as a Democratic nominee.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.